Welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. Well, that was a bad week last week for basketball and football, but let's talk about football because we got Louisville coming up. First of all, Cutter Boley, Vanderbilt's defensive coordinator, said their focus was to go after Cutter Boley, confuse him, blitz him, and that's exactly what they did. They used stunts, twists, blitzes. They blitzed people from the back end a lot on a delayed blitz. And you could tell whether Cutter Boley's going to have a good game. Just look at his eyes, because in all those road games in the first quarter, you could see it in his eyes that he was confused. And I'm not going to say scared, but a little overwhelmed. So their defense did a good job, because that's the strength of their defense, is their defensive line, and blitzing him and just keep blitzing him. It stops the run and it confuses him. He kind of regressed, held onto the ball twice. Hester ran right across the middle of the field. He wide open and he didn't hit him. So, he held the ball. He didn't hit his check down. So we regressed a little bit. But look, that was a tough game. So I don't know what Louisville's going to do, but I would expect that they would blitz him. And you're going to see more of that. So now they're not Vanderbilt's defensive line, obviously. Cutter Boley, look at the two quarterbacks over my left shoulder. Let's talk about the best quarterbacks we've had in the last probably 40 years. 50. Tim Couch, Jared Lorenzen, Andre Woodson. What do they all have in common? They struggled their freshman year. Tim Couch got beat 65-0. Now, albeit Bill Curry put him in the option. He got beat on national TV by Florida 65-0. We had lost 73-7 the year before that on national TV. For all of you younger people who think it's bad now. No. It was god-awful back in the day. Yeah. So Tim Couch struggled. Jared Lorenzen, 2-9. We had to scrap the air raid, so we'll talk about that later. Had an awful freshman year. Andre Woodson, awful. Got beat 40-3 at Auburn. But all of it turned out well as they went into their sophomore. Of course, Tim Couch did 2 more years. So, yeah, he got better. Jared Lorenzen got better. Andre Woodson got better. So the hope is Cutter Boley. I was hoping they'd take him out of the game because I was afraid he's going to get hurt. The way they were blitzing. They were selling out and just blitzing. And they, to Bush Hamden's credit, kept him in there and let him take his lumps. Because the only way you're going to learn in this league is to play. And he kept him in there. Yes, we got some garbage time touchdowns. And that was fine, but didn't really mean that much. Cutter Boley has not played well on the road. That's the one step he has to take to grow. That's the one thing he hasn't done. Well, he's got to do it next week because we got to win that game. So, but look, he's a freshman, okay? We got blown out. It happens. He had an awful game. Happens. But it keeps happening on the road and not at home. So, got to get that road game face going because we need him. Now let's talk about Vanderbilt for a second. Diego Pavia. Man, that guy, I'm going to tell you what, a couple of his throws, that throw to the back of the pylon, there's some NFL quarterbacks right now. I'm watching the Colts and the Bears today and some other Tennessee, some other teams. There's NFL quarterbacks that can't make that throw. That guy's good. Now, how'd they get, for all you people who don't know how they got Diego Pavia? New Mexico State, 3 years ago, won 9 games, okay? I knew he was good then. Vanderbilt, New Mexico State's head coach retires. Vanderbilt takes New Mexico State's offensive coordinator, and along comes Diego Pavia, offensive lineman, a tight end, I think maybe a wide receiver. All these players Vanderbilt got because they took the offensive coordinator. They didn't recruit those players. So, look, they caught lightning in a bottle, okay? Let's see how they do, next. I'm not saying they're not going to be good, but, look, this is once in a lifetime, Tim Couch from What We Cuss. They caught their lightning in the bottle, and he is good. But they should have gotten Siaj Pete was on his way to Vanderbilt. You guys know that, right? We talked him out of it, okay? We gave him a little more money, and he decided, oh, you know what? I'm not going to Vanderbilt. I'm going to Kentucky, okay? So that was good for us because he's probably going to play in the NFL. But, yeah, the offensive line struggled yesterday, but a lot of it was because the quarterback, that was just Vanderbilt executing a game plan to perfection. On defense, I won't talk about the defense. We were playing backups. We don't have backups, guys. 3-star starters and, backups are the save. So we have good, a good starting 11 on both sides of the ball. We don't have backups. It's the usual story. We'll talk about that in the future. But, Pavia, look, that guy's good. I knew he was good when they went into Auburn and won 9 games 3 years ago. I told my guys at work, hey, this guy's going to be good. All right, let's look ahead to Louisville. Look, they didn't play Miller Moss. Miller Moss is at odds with the coach and the players. I don't know which quarterback they're going to play next week. They got hammered too. I watched a little bit of the highlights of that game. Look, they're going to come ready to play. They don't want to lose. You think they've lost 3 in a row? They don't want to lose, and we don't want to lose. So this is going to be, execution and who wants it more. And look, Cutter Boley has to play just one. I had us at 6-6. Okay, that's all I had us with this schedule and these players. I knew 6-6. I have us winning this game. The only game I haven't got right so far is I had South Carolina and Auburn flipped. If you watched my preview at the beginning of the year, however, we have to beat Louisville, so he's got to play well on the road. He just has to. That's the next step for him because he's the quarterback of the future. So look, you call any play you want. It doesn't matter if you quarterback holds onto the ball, So credit Vanderbilt's defensive line, and Louisville doesn't have Vanderbilt's defensive line, so we're a little more even with them. Let's talk about some other things, just some miscellaneous stuff. It's Sunday. Tyler Thompson wrote a good article on Vanderbilt on how they did when they redid their stadium and the things they did for football recruiting, things that we need to do. Okay. It's not just the head coach here, guys. Okay. You can go back to Loyal BBN and look at our tight end Skinner's father's interview when he talked about on the recruiting visit, they had to walk. No one picked them up. They had to walk to wherever they were going to the facility. He talks about a Gatorade, simple things like giving people something. And our players live in a dorm. I know most people say, well, they live in an apartment. Every other SEC school, they live in apartments. Ours live in a dorm. There's little things that Mr. Skinner was saying that will make you not come here. It's a basketball school, and you asking people to come here. That's hard to do. So we need to improve that. But her article, very good article by her. Matt Jones' post-game show. Let me tell you what, guys. I've criticized KSR, not Matt Jones, because Matt Jones. Go back and listen to the post-game call-in show where he talks about the football program. I thought he just broke it down so well. Kroger Field. We have to do better with Kroger Field and recruiting. Matt Jones said, the reason the fans have not given up on Mark Stoops. Now, online, you're going to see a lot of Stoops haters, and a lot of them are fake, okay? A lot of them are not Louisville, whatever, fans from other schools. But the fans haven't given up on football, and they haven't given up on Stoops. And he points out, Joker Phillips got fired because the fans didn't show up. The fans show up here. They showed up for Florida. They showed up for Tennessee Tech. So the fans are showing up to see this team. So all the fans that hate Mark Stoops and stuff, it's not enough to get him fired, okay? Especially if he wins this game, because people still support him and they still support the team. And as he points out, the donors did not support Cal, but they do support Mark Stoops. So we can get into all that later. But go back and listen to Matt Jones's post-game show, call-in show. He's about as measured of an opinion as you're going to get. He does very well at explaining things. And he always he's an attorney. You can tell he went to law school. He gives a very thorough, measured opinion on what he's talking about. Listen to what he talks about when he talks about the football program and Mark Stoops and the fans still showing up to the games. Yes, so people are still supporting it. Now, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. Whether they're going to fire the coach, I don't know. But it's more than the coach, okay? So yes, I'm gonna do a video on the portal players. A lot of people say we messed up the portal. I'm gonna go over the 20 players. We didn't mess up. We messed up one player in the portal. We didn't mess up everybody. We'll go over high school players. Right now we got way too many 3 stars and not enough 4 stars. But and one miscellaneous thing I want to bring up. If I hear one more person say we need to run a spread offense, guys, come on. I have a video on why we should never run the air raid again. Go watch it. We were the first team to bring in the air raid, a spread offense, and we had to scrap it because it didn't work. This is the SEC. It might work in the Big 12. It might work in the ACC, but it ain't going to work in the SEC. When you play Texas A&M, Texas Auburn, they're going to kill your quarterback, okay? If you're going to run a spread offense, you're going to have to put the quarterback in the shotgun. Otherwise, you're going to get him killed. Once you put him in the shotgun, you can't run the ball. Will you score more? Yeah, we'll score 28, and we'll get beat 63-28. And there'll be games. We couldn't have beat Auburn running a spread offense. I mean, come on, guys. Think about this, okay? Go back and watch my video. I go over all that, what happened and why we were the first ones to do it and why we scrapped it. And it's pretty simple. You can't do it in the SEC. If you could, people would be doing it. And then talked about Mississippi State. Mike Leach. Okay, Mike Leach did 3 years in Mississippi State. He had a losing record in the SEC and he was barely 500 running the air raid. It's the same result, guys. You're not going to do that, okay? There's a couple big teams that run a hybrid of it, Indiana, Oregon, but nobody's running a complete spread offense in Division I that I know of, or that's any good. Toledo's doing it, but they're not Power 5. So you're not going to do that in the SEC. You got to run the football somehow. So we'll see. I mean, let's see what happens with this game. But let's get to the Louisville game here. Look, I don't know which quarterback's going to play, but I'm going to tell you this. Jeff Brom's a good coach, and I watched him at Purdue. You can win at Purdue. You can win at a lot of places. He's going to have them. They're not going to lose this game, and we're not going to lose this game. It's an 11 a.m. game on the ACC network. Good Lord. So we will do that right here, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, right here. We're going to do a watch party, and we're going to pull for Cutter Boley. If he has a good game, we're going to beat them. If he doesn't, we won't beat them. I think that's what it comes down to. I think they held out some people. Alex Safari could have played probably, but didn't. They smartly held some people out for this game because, we're playing so many backups on defense, guys, and we weren't getting pressure on Pavia, and he just had a hell of a day, and that's how good he is, okay? That's why they've only lost 2 games. They really could have had 1 loss. There's only 1 team that blew them out, right? I think it was Alabama, 30-11. Other than that, they could have had Texas and a couple other people, but they're good. Now, once he leaves, like I said, that's a once-in-a-lifetime guy. They got lucky. Well, I say got lucky. They brought the offensive coordinator and a bunch of players over. That's how they got good. So, all right. Be here next Saturday. I just did a live last night, and we talked about some of this stuff. And I'll do a live, and we'll go over high school players and portal players. And look, whoever the coach is, we have to get some 4-star players. And we're not going to go over money. We all know that we're not spending the money on football that everybody else is. I'm not going to rehash all that. The question is, what is the plan for I keep asking, what's the plan for the football program? Mitch Barnhart, supposedly Matt Jones says it's not going to be the athletic director. So obviously Matt Jones is usually right about these things. So whoever the new athletic director is, we know what the plan for basketball is. You can get whatever you want. Any 5-star you want, any of the facilities are going to be top notch. I get it. And it should be. They should be because we're Kentucky. But what's the plan in football? Okay. And as my friend Big Mike, and we talked on Loyal BBN, Big Mike says this, and I say this: why would you come here as a head coach if you're not going to spend money on football? This is a basketball school. You know how hard it is to get people to come here? We're getting are we getting 3-star recruits because we can only get 3-star recruits, or are we getting them because that's all we can afford? That'd be my question. We're going to have to do well in the portal, and we'll talk about that after the season. We've got to rebuild our offensive line and add some people. It's going to be a challenge. So I've been going about 14 minutes here, so that's enough, guys. Look, I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I have a basketball section on my channel. We do football and basketball here. I have a short section where I do both football and basketball. We do lives every week. So you get to chime in on, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Sometimes our lives go off on things other than sports. So we try to keep it fun too. All right, guys, listen, I appreciate it. Let's come here, 11 a.m. Let's do 30 minutes before. We'll do a pregame show. So let's do 10:30 a.m. Central, 11:30 a.m. Eastern for the pregame show, and we'll do the game. We'll have a post-game show. So, hey, let's do it. Cutter Boley, come on, brother. I know you can do it. Look, if these guys over my left shoulder here can have, bad freshman years and then turn out to be great quarterbacks, Cutter has all the potential in the world. He just has to do it. Thanks for watching.